So today I got a tweet that saddened me in many ways because it's a reflection of what's wrong with America today. The inability for civil discourse and tribalism that usurps individual thought and really threatens to rip this nation, which is otherwise being held together by the Constitution. The tweet was, well, it says, at CV Payne, discussing rather, live on your knees than stand up as a man, speaking down to your own skin, culture, history for a check. Well, my disgusted Twitter friend was upset that I was poking fun at a comment that Maxine Waters made, and I was noting the delicious irony that she made it a gaffe in front of a statue of Will Rogers, and I noted one of his famous quotes, "I belong to no organized party. I'm a Democrat." But, you know, of course, this goes well beyond being part of any political party, but to those smaller niches of people that just aren't satisfied embracing their own ideology. Instead, these days, you know, they want to shoot down, even harm non-believers, and more what counts most is skin color, culture, or gender. At least we know this isn't what the Founding Fathers had in mind. We admitted as much. Look at this poll. 16% of us say that they would not be proud of where this country is today, although 51% of us say that we are proud. And I think that does underscore this new reality that too many accept that we rally around echo groups and not around the flag. So with 4th of July just a few days away, there's something profoundly sad about all of this. Here to help me discuss, Jillian Melcher and Gina Loudon. Jillian, let me start with you. I mean, it's just, you get this kind of stuff on Twitter all the time, but, you know, everyone has gone into their own respective bubbles, which is one thing, but now the bubbles are at war with each other. Yeah, I mean, it's kind of counterproductive when you see both sides trying to shut down conversation. We've certainly seen this with the campus liberals. I was disappointed to see it recently in New York City at Central Park, where conservatives were shutting down debate. But I'm optimistic about the future of this country, and here's why. We have a Constitution that's unprecedented. It's holding up. It's stronger than any one individual or party. Basically, as the law of the land, we have good bones, and I think that's going to hold us through this time. All right, Gina, I tell you what, them good bones are under a lot of stress right now.
Well, they are, because of the obstructionism of the Democrats. Also, the idea in the minds of many Democrats that our Constitutional is somehow pliable to whatever they'd like to make it today. While I think people wanted to comment in that poll perhaps on sort of the state of affairs generally where we are today and how far we've gotten from freedom and free markets and constitutional authority, I also think that some people may have felt optimistic because we are returning to that. Look at Gorsuch now, the president's appointment to the Supreme Court. Look at the return of free market concepts and real constitutional values and the rule of law, as illustrated just this week by the president and his immigration law. So I think that there are some really good signs, Charles. But yeah, you are so right about the tribalism and the division, and that's our real battle right now.
Julian, you mentioned the Central Park. I guess you're referring to that. Would you equate a play that features the death of a sitting president with someone cracking a joke about a sitting congressperson? Are they on the same level, equal, or do you think those are equal in terms of one offsetting the other?
Well, I think it's a sacred right in our country to have the free speech to mock our politicians and satirize them.
Mock is one thing, but is mocking involving the murder or beheading and those kind of things aren't not?
It's in poor taste, unequivocally, but it's protected speech, and that's part of what makes our country so great. I think that's part of what, within the culture wars we're discussing right now, whether it's more important to have free speech or more important to have an inclusion that doesn't make people feel uncomfortable. Right. But at the end of the day, I think on both sides, it's important to be having these conversations. We can be divided, and we can come together on the basic issue that we discuss this.
Well, I hope you're right. But Gina, is that a good point, that maybe we shouldn't have any guardrails with respect to freedom of expression?
No, absolutely not. That's why you can't yell fire in a crowded building. You are not, it is not okay. It is not covered under free speech to incite violence. And that's why the fact that many Democrat leaders and Hollywood leaders haven't rebuked the resist movement for their advocacy of violence is a big overlying problem in America. And also their division
with the caveat that the Supreme Court has held that incitement is a very narrow definition. I mean, it's not talking about violence as a whole. It's talking about meet me at this time, at this place, let's do this. That's what incitement is, legally speaking. Is it right, is it wrong? That's a different question. But incitement, if we're using that in a legal term, that's what that means.
Well, ladies, you both wore almost the same dress. You both look phenomenal. I hope you have a great 4th of July. And I always love when you two have these discussions. It's enlightening. Appreciate it.